What's going on, Chattanooga? It's your girl, Zana K here with Brewer Media Group, and I have three wonderful people here doing some wonderful things here in Chattanooga for the future generations. How are you guys doing? We have Marques Thompson, Miss Janice Neal, and Mrs. Rebecca Suttles.
Hello.
Hi, how are y'all doing
Hello.
today?
Doing well. Thank you. How are
Morning.
you?
I am wonderful. So, y'all, if you haven't already heard, we are highlighting a young leader who's providing that success in even more meaningful ways when bringing others along with you. We have Marques Thompson, a Chattanooga native. Went to Brainerd, a former Brainerd student, and now you're helping other students follow their career paths of interest beyond high school. How'd you come about this? But before we even get to that, tell us a little bit about your story for those who may not know you, and then let us know how you came about with this college prep program.
Yeah, thank you, WJTT Power 94 for having us today. My name is Marques Thompson. I'm a rising senior here at Stanford University in California. Born and raised in Chattanooga, the youngest of 10 to two amazing parents. And if you haven't met my mother, she's probably one of the most kind, dedicated, driven women ever. And she just really just pushes me, all my siblings, to be curious and relentless in all our pursuits. And it really took a village. And my mom pushed us and enabled us to be around these really great organizations and people that believed in us. And, getting at Stanford definitely didn't happen overnight. It wasn't inevitable. It really took the village. And so this is just an amazing opportunity to pour back into the city that gave so much to me.
Yes. Now, this is the college prep program. Tell me more about what it's doing and who it's helping, who's eligible.
Yeah, so when I was awarded this scholarship, the first thing that came to mind is college access. And I talked to two of the best educators I know in Chattanooga that are committed, that don't really, where there's red tape, they cut through it. They're trailblazers. If they have a goal, they don't think small picture, they think big picture. And I thought of Miss Rebecca Suttles and Miss Janice Neal, who've definitely been instrumental in my life, whether they recognize it or not. Over the time from ninth grade through high school, I felt like every week I was making small incremental gains, but it was due to some of the guidance they offered to my family, to me, and all the resources they provided. And the reason why we're doing these two select schools right now is Brainerd and Howard is one, there's no school like Brainerd. I went to Brainerd High School. I enjoyed my time there. My siblings went to Brainerd. And then two, Howard. People say it's a rival school compared to Brainerd, but I'm not sure how, because Brainerd is always, in my opinion, winning in these other categories.
Okay, so y'all are top tier.
In my opinion, but also my father went to Howard as well. So this is not no better time to do this. And just to show that these students for far too long have been overlooked, that have had so much talent. And, I'm not a talent acquisitionist, but I've seen how great these students are, these scholars are. And we just need to really give them the tools to be successful. And that's what we're committed
Okay.
to doing.
Now, for either one of you, Miss Janice Neal or Mrs. Rebecca Settles, being that you were instrumental in this process for Marquez even before he got out of school, what what led you to just want to pour into him, let alone pouring into students, period? Because so many educators just they might brush past students or see them come in and do things just by the book and not really help them. What made you see what possesses you to see something more in students and help them beyond? Either one.
Well,
I'll let you
I'll
go
start.
first, Rebecca.
Okay, I'll start. So with Marquez specifically, he was just this eager, driven person. He was kind of like low-hanging fruit to a certain extent. He would reach out and ask questions, always has been very curious and wanting to understand the process. So he was easy, okay, in the big scheme of things. But I used to work at a foundation where I ran the scholarship department, and I had the opportunity to visit many schools and really connect. It's kind of funny now that I'm not at the foundation anymore. A lot of the students, my former students, thought I actually worked at the school because, or worked at the school because they saw me so much. They were like, I didn't know that you worked at a foundation. I thought you were here. And I just have always felt the importance of young people being heard, talked to, trying to be that approachable adult. Because oftentimes I'm older. And so it was much more like children had their place. And it was kind of scary sometimes to talk to adults. And so I always wanted to make myself accessible. And it's amazing the conversations you have one on one. And I know that that's not always possible now, now that I'm in a school setting. And I realize, like, oh, okay, now I have a caseload of 300 plus. It's hard to meet with students one on one. But I mean, there are other ways around it. It's just been really important to me to be able to connect with students.
Mhm.
And when you have those conversations with students, you get to learn more about them and you can kind of create a blueprint for them. They really need this.
Yes.
You know, they really need that one-on-one interaction, learning how to talk appropriately, learning how to respond instead of react, just a variety of things. But I feel so blessed that I'm in a school at Howard where I'm able to, I feel my purpose is to be in a school working with students who want to either do the college path or the career path.
Okay.
You know, yeah.
Okay,
I don't know if
Miss.
I answered your question because
No, you
I'm a school.
did. You did. Now, Miss Janice Neal, are you also at Howard?
No, I work for a local nonprofit, Public Education Forward. And to answer your question, I mean, like Rebecca said, Marques was our
Mm-hmm.
low-hanging fruit because he advocates for himself. He already knows how to approach different people and ask the right questions. Not
Mm-hmm.
every student knows that and understands that. Student voice is so critical, and it's unfair for the adults to think students are going to magically develop these skills if no one has taught them how to do so. And
Okay.
being from a different generation, we were taught to be silent around the adults. Didn't mean I didn't have questions. It just meant I would wait and ask those questions of my parents, like Marques mentioned his parents. And so I grew up with a community team, our home, our church, our school. So that's been my mentality. So I see that now. We don't have the home church school, but you have individuals who are just as committed to helping these brilliant young minds
Mm-hmm.
because I love helping people along their journey. I love watching that light bulb turn on. And so Rebecca mentioned we used to go to these schools individually. People don't understand how big Hamilton County is and how many high schools we have until you're driving to each and every one. And so when I am there, everyone becomes my child. There's no such thing as a rivalry. I'm a Tyner graduate, but I am just as passionate helping every other student in every other school.
Yes. Oh, that's so good. Now, being that you guys talked about the needs that you saw that inspired or invoked the qualities that you guys are now pouring into other children for this free college prep program, what are you hoping that it can do for these students?
I want students to realize they are more than their zip code. I want them to realize we are here to help them. They just have to ask. Some of them don't know how to ask, so we will also teach them those skills because sometimes I've seen kids who feel beaten down
Mhm.
because of whatever the news may be portraying. And it's easy to do a soundbite with something negative, but why aren't you talking about these brilliant young minds who are developing things and coming up with ideas that we haven't even thought we would need?
Mhm.
And so the fact that we get to develop them, teach them some skills, and help them understand college is an option. It's not for us to say you should or shouldn't go to. The career is what you're going to end up with. I love to tell students I have a career versus a job because I love what I do. A job can pay you well, but you may only be in it for the paycheck. I can tell you with nonprofit life, you're not in it for the paycheck. You're in it for a vision, a mission, a belief, something more tangible that wakes you up every day excited. You have no idea what light bulb is going to come on in a young person's mind, but to watch them light up and to watch them realize they have people who will help them. Marques was one of those. And so when he came up with this idea, we were excited. It's like, okay, what do you need?
Right. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Now, I read, go ahead.
I'm sorry. And just to piggyback off of what Janice said, also, I want to see the students build confidence and feel comfortable asking questions and learning how to, like I said, respond instead of react. I want them to know that they truly have a village. You know, oftentimes we're in this world where heads are down all the time on their phones, and just the importance of human interaction and having real conversations, real questions asked to them talking about it, just giving them that space where they are heard.
And that's very important because some of us go through that whole high school experience silent. You might even know what you're interested in, but not knowing how to get there, not knowing what it takes to even leave high school to go into college and what to expect when you get to college.
Yes.
So that is really, really good what you guys are doing. I see here that you guys are providing a year of college prep free. That is because we live free, and I thank you guys for doing that. For college prep for students, 40 specifically. So how do the students get involved? Are there specific requirements? Do they just reach out to you all? How do the students at both Brainerd and Howard get into this program?
Yeah, so for this program, we're supporting a cohort of 40 to 50 students total at Brainerd and Howard.
Okay.
And I think one thing we're not looking for students that have the highest GPA. Generally, we're looking for students who are dedicated, that are eager to learn, that are going to show up and commit. And we want to be considered as thoughtful partners with families and them, because we know that most of these students are the first in their family. And that shouldn't be something that people shy away from. That's also a blessing. That's something that we're excited to work with. I'm also the first in my family to go to college. But also importantly is we want students to know that we're going to celebrate every milestone, completing the FAFSA, submitting your first application, doing your resume. And just recently, Miss Janice, I was looking at a documentary of a local school, and some students were talking about writing resumes. And I did my first resume in ninth grade through PEF, Public Education Forward. And now to me, I've continued to grow from that. I still have my old resumes, but I remember when I was submitting my college applications, it was easy because I already had a resume. But it didn't happen overnight. It literally came from the support of PEF and Miss Janice and Mr. Wana Young. But we want students to know we're celebrating them. And also that failure is part of life, whether we admit it or not. And, a couple months ago, I was on the phone with my mom. I'm always on the phone with my mom. And we were talking about, great things that have come and also hardships and challenges. And when I would never get, a decision I wanted, my mama says, maybe there's a higher plan, there's a calling, maybe it wasn't meant for you. And sometimes it felt pedantic, but, mom is going to be mom. And I've received, really great awards like the Gates Scholarship, the Jack Kent Cooke Scholarship, the Alexander Hamilton Scholarship, etc., local, state, national. But that's not the point. I was on the phone with my mom a couple months ago, and I said, Mom, I actually went to my personal email and I put in the word regret and unfortunately. Over 200. And if people who are listening to this, one thing I noticed is this. My yeses have been bigger than my no's. And then two, Mrs. Rebecca Suttles told my siblings, which passed down to me, apply to every opportunity. If it's $100, if it's $250, which is 500, if it's 1,000, 5,000, 10,000, apply to it. And those numbers add up. And for me, attending a college that costs $104,000 a year, I couldn't afford it. My parents couldn't afford it. But I'm here on a free ride. And that's due to doing the hard work and diligence. And we want students to know that it doesn't happen overnight, but if you do the work, you come with questions, you take pride in asking for help, then we're going to help you every step of the way. We're committed as well.
Hearing him talk, I can just see and envision the passion that you guys have all poured into him. And I know you guys feel so, I guess, blessed to be able to see the fruits of all years' labor from this student at your school. Like, I just want to say congratulations because not a lot of educators do that at all. Now, with this scholarship, I also read that you guys will, I mean, with the scholarship that you were awarded, you went on, you could have just continued with your life. Why look back? Why care about helping these students? Not only that, you guys are also awarding them with their own scholarship through this college prep program.
Yeah, to be completely frank, when I applied for this scholarship, I found about the opportunity a week and a half before it was due. And I immediately thought of college access, something that I have experience in, and then these two ladies have, they're experts in. A lot of wealth of knowledge. They've offered so much support to me, and it's definitely been helpful. But I think the thing for me is I came up with some ideas and I reached out to them, emailed them literally, and I said, I'm thinking about this. Are you interested? And they both said yes. And then we hopped on a meeting, and I was like, here's what I'm thinking, brainstorming some ideas, and they told me, here's some key pointers that we think you should look out for and some things that you should talk about. And I did. And we were awarded the scholarship. And I said we because we're in this as a team. And
Mhm.
for me, being really fortunate to have the $104,000 covered, I don't need it. I have had a lot of opportunities afforded to me. And there's been so many people who believed in me, a total village. And a lot of them are in Chattanooga. And thinking about the next generation of scholars back home. I remember seeing some of my peers who I've never had an interest for STEM. So if you're listening to this and you're a STEM person, shout out to you. Chemistry, I'm not a fan of it unless I'm making an experiment and blowing things up. But there was, peers of mine who were really well in everything, including STEM, which wasn't my strong suit. And they didn't get to go to college. They wanted to go to college. It's just because they didn't have the support and they were burnt out along the way. Because we know that counselors and teachers have limited time. And for me, I didn't always have the best test scores. I was driven. But one thing I really enjoyed about Brainerd High School were there were teachers who believed in me, whether that was weekend sessions for geometry help because I didn't understand once things didn't add up to 180 or the other angle measure 360 degrees, I believe. And there was there was also chemistry, which wasn't my strong suit. My teacher would have tutoring hours and said, Marquez, I'll start tutoring hours because you're the first one who asked. And also, my favorite part was not only learning how to do the math the correct way with the equations, but also being able to blow things up. Because I would ask him all the time, are we blowing things up in class today? He's like, Marquez, chemistry is more than experiments. And so he would give me the opportunity to do experiments after school. And that made me motivated. I had a teacher when I wasn't doing well in algebra 2. I would get the homework assignments, the classwork assignments, but struggle on the quizzes and tests. And she gave me tutoring sessions. And so there was always someone believed in me. I'm not this smart kid who just gets something and just run with it. I continue to learn by listening to lifelong learners who are pouring into me, who are giving me more substance, who are supporting me in areas I'm not strong in. And so there's no brainer to give that back to my hometown. Brainer and how.
Now you mentioned it takes a village. Mrs. Rebecca Suttles, as you are part of the team, and to even have a goal such as this and have it succeed, it takes vision. What are you hoping to see overall as far as the success of this program with the students that you guys are about to welcome in?
Yeah, I want to see like an almost like an overflow. Like I know he said 50 students maximum. I want people beating down the door and feeling like, oh my gosh, like I want to be part of that. Um, it's not just me at Howard working. I have a great partner who's in the department with me, Leanne Jones, who is all in and excited about getting this started. We're excited about getting the parents involved because we realized, and this was my first year at Howard, and I'm realizing like, oh, we have to make sure parents are involved. Like we're thinking of the vision of, okay, if we take students on college visits, we may need to take the parents on the college visit too, because they're going to be the cheerleaders and the gatekeepers, really. If they haven't seen been on a college campus, then some of those parents may say, well, I don't know if you want to go to college. Why do you want to, so this is a village thing. We want everybody to move forward. In Chattanooga, also, we have it where, well, not just Chattanooga, but in Tennessee, if parents wanted to go to college, they could go. There's some grants out there for adult students. There are also career opportunities. I feel like if we are able to get the parents buy-in and get them excited about it, this program will explode. But I want the students to feel comfortable with the application process, comfortable asking questions when college reps come in, and not just come in for the swag. I want them comfortable writing essays, doing their resumes, all those things, like building their toolkit, like Marques said earlier. The earlier you're able to do this, when it's your senior year, and I know we have a lot of work to do with our seniors, when scholarship applications come about, they're not like, oh my gosh, Miss Suttles, I have to do a resume. I'm like, you already have it, copy and paste, and I'm just so excited about them being excited about learning the process and understanding, yes, it's overwhelming, but it's doable. Yeah.
Now, speaking of the process, it got to start from somewhere. And I see that applications are going to begin. You guys are going to begin taking applications in July. Where can students sign up? Where can they even learn more information about this?
So do you mind if so we do have an application process. It probably will come out a little bit later than July, just because the students are not in school at that time.
Okay.
So one of the things that we're going to do on the Howard side is send letters out, and we're having a mandatory meeting for our juniors and then also our seniors to talk with them about the program. And then they will have an opportunity to fill out the application. Then we'll be able to answer any questions that they may have. We also, on the back end, have a list of students that we are kind of targeting to a certain extent. So we want to make it exclusive but inclusive at the same time. So that's our plan of action within the first month of school starting.
Okay. Now, is there a website, or is it strictly in person? In case there's some students who may not watch this, who may not even who miss a meeting or miss anything that you guys have regarding this. How else will they get the information, or their parents?
Yeah, so we're gonna have up flyers in the local community centers. It'll be coming to students' emails from their admin team and counselors. And, we're hoping to get the word out as much as possible on social media, because we know that, even when I was in school, I would tell my mom I didn't hear about it, that people are going to say I didn't hear about it. But we're hoping that, someone in the community hears about it and they share with a neighbor, and that neighbor shares with a friend. If you have a relative who's at Howard or Brainerd that is a rising junior or senior, make sure they hear about this. Make sure they see this, that they apply. And again, we're not looking for those with the best GPAs, just
Yeah.
those who are eager to learn.
Well, I thank you guys so much for telling me about this, and I'm sure all my friends and all my parents will get this out. And I definitely wish you guys all the success with this program, because it's really, really good. And I thank you so much for pouring into this next generation, because we really need it. And I pray that it grows beyond, just like you said, Chattanooga and into Tennessee. So I thank you guys for letting me know. We'll have this information up on our website, power94.com, so you guys could get in on this college prep program, because it's needed. Thank you so much, Marques. Thank you so much, Miss Janice Neal and Mrs. Rebecca Suttles. I hope you guys have a wonderful day. I see you wanted to add something, Miss Rebecca.
No, I was just going to say thank you. I will rattle on, but no, but I'm just so appreciative, very excited about this opportunity, and cannot wait until August.
Thank you guys so much. You guys have a wonderful day.
Thank you.
You
You as
too.
well.
Take care.